Welcome back to Stocklabs Market Recaps. This will be for the week that ended on August 27th. So finished up option expiration for the month of August. And I think last week we were sort of just looking for almost the same pattern that we've been getting for a lot of months now, where more or less the market puts in a low right before or after these monthly option expirations, and that's sort of what happened. We just took off on Monday in the indices and didn't really look back. I think the only down day was Thursday, which got immediately reversed on Friday back to new highs. We had Jackson Hole, which was a non-event, as I don't know, kind of I thought was expected. It wouldn't be that big of a deal, and it ended up not being that big of a deal. But I guess there was some uncertainty heading into it, whether the Fed was going to talk about tapering or, other just the general feelings they had towards where monetary policy and all the stuff was. But usually when these sorts of things get all hyped up, they end up just being nothing. I think we kind of heard the same lines and catchphrases that we've been hearing for months or years or whatever. So yeah, market likes that. Okay, I'll go to the actual performance of the indices, and we got small caps, big outperformer, up almost 5%, and followed up by the NASDAQ, up 2.3%. Is that right? Yeah, I guess 2.3%. The S&P up 1.5-ish, and the Dow up 1%. So not much out of the Dow. And then if oil was the big winner, had a huge week. It was like up 10% or so. And then bonds struggled to even stay flat-ish. They were down for the week. So our mega caps, if we check those, just because they're big weightings in the indices themselves, pretty solid week for Google and Amazon, up almost 5% each. And then the Tesla had a nice week, bouncing back over 700, and the rest kind of whatever. Usually you get one or two that outperform big, and then the rest sort of just chop around. And then overall, they were up almost, they were 2.7% in total. I just want to go back to this and check. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So the FANG stocks 2.7%. The Qs were up 2.3%. So kind of lining up there. Our industries, pretty broad rally. Basic materials, big bounce, up 7.5%. Healthcare up almost 7%. These two industries have been sort of beaten up, or they get beaten up a lot, but when they do bounce, they bounce pretty big all at once. So if you were already long them, then you got a little bit of a reprieve from some of the beatings that were taking place in prior weeks. But overall, I think they're probably still down pretty big on Yeah, so month to date, materials are still down. Healthcare's up a little bit, but yeah, for this particular week, you got big bounces from sort of oversold conditions on them, and then the leadership subsectors, obviously came from a lot of these industries. So oil and gas, shipping type stuff, and then resorts and casinos and movies. Big performance this week. I didn't see if there was anything in particular driving that, other than maybe they were very oversold as well. Silver, big week. More oil and gas things. Um, Gene editing. Have a semiconductor on here, so a lot of the stuff these are a lot of the sectors that have been doing pretty poorly for a while. So it's tough to say. This could be maybe a trend reversal in them, but it also could just be more of a dead cat bounce for these types of stocks. We just don't know. We'll have to see how they behave a little more going forward. But it was a good week for them, um, regardless. So things that were down, not much. Whatever, discount stores and a bunch of utilities. You can see utilities here. We've mentioned this before. They tend to underperform when the market is in a risk on mode. Um, yeah, and the rest, that's it. Everything else sort of starts heading towards positive territory pretty quickly. So, you know, can't say anything bad about the breadth this week. Breadth has been something that the market's been struggling with for a long time, but this particular week, our overall breadth was actually pretty good. So let's see, Friday. So Thursday was down a bunch, but then um, yeah, let's see. Friday closed. Actually, this is the highest breadth since day is this since mid July. So again, see this is like another one of these OPEX sort of day, like post OPEX days, like 20th of July should be around the third week. Um, I don't know if it's the Friday or what, or maybe it's whatever. You get it. Best breadth since then. Um, and we did have. Well, this is the week before, but okay. So Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. Okay, so we had 71, 67, 62, one bad day at 34, then the rest. So, but four out of the five trading days, we had pretty good breadth, is what I'm trying to say. Okay. Um, go into screener, check our um, how we're split up by cap here. 1 to 5 billion, up over 6%. So really strong. Down in the smaller capped stocks overall. 4.5 for 5 to 10 billion. Large caps, we've got 3.5% up. And mega caps, we've got plus 2.3%. With Terra caps, 100 billion plus, up 1.8%. So really strong across the board, and really a pretty steady sort of pattern. Anything from 1.8% to 6.5-ish%. As we go down the range of market caps. So, and none of them stuck out as being, well, the 1 to 5 billion being up over 6.5%. That's really strong, and a lot of that was probably from some of those basic material sectors and things like that um, bounced really hard this week. Um, I'll go to intelligence. Intelligence for the coming week is, I don't see any major, as far as like major as in popular ETFs on here. I mean, this is biotech, so maybe you see some of the healthcare biotech names extend their bounce that they um, started in the past week. RCG, I don't know what this is. Something mid caps. Okay, so that's pretty good for the broader market. Small cap energy, more oil and gas stuff. India, kind of an outlier thing that doesn't pop up often. And cannabis, so can keep an eye on that for possible trades. Let me just invert this. So what's supposed to be down? So EM bear ETF is going to be down. So bullish EM. Bearish Brazil is going to be down. So bullish Brazil. And silver. Okay, so silver and ultra silver are looking for down moves. So metals rallies maybe going to pause, and then drip is bear oil and gas, and NRGD is bear oil and gas. So those are rated bear. So bullish oil and gas for this week. I don't know. None of this stuff is really on this page or the original one are really too exciting. So we are into the end of the month here. The month ends on Tuesday. So might expect the market to just cruise into Tuesday, and then starting September. I don't know how much action you're going to get this week, but because we're going into Labor Day weekend, and then once we're back from Labor Day is sort of how I'm going to think of the month of September really starting as far as trading goes, because that's when most people are back from vacation. Everything is sort of, the summer's really winding down, and people start really thinking and planning towards the end of the year and what they want their portfolios to be looking like for the end of the third quarter and then the end of the year, getting positioned for that. So I'd expect a pretty quiet week this week overall, and wouldn't really expect nothing too crazy to happen. We did get our first 6-month hybrid overbought signal on Friday. This is the first one since way back in February. So you can see that this oscillator, I mean, it's produced oversold signals, but hasn't produced an overbought signal in, what is this? This is like 6 months. So yeah, that's just something to note. It is at a lower threshold though. So you can see, since the oscillator couldn't really get up, up into these type of ranges anymore, like for a long time, the threshold for overbought sort of got ratcheted down, and now we did punch up into it, so we got an overbought signal. I'll just show you the overbought signal doesn't really mean anything like terrible is going to happen. Yeah, you can see this for 10 days, like basically a flat market. Everything's sort of like 50-50 with sort of mediocre returns. Mediocre, just like, you know, 0.5% here, 0.5% there. It's probably just a choppy market overall. But yeah, so that's just something I just wanted to point that out. And yeah, we'll see how things go. I don't know who has earnings this. Well, I can look who has earnings this week. If anyone important does, I'll just sort by market cap, see who's the biggest ones. Okay, so Zoom and Stone, Cloudera. Let's see, Tuesday. Oh, CrowdStrike. That's going to be probably a pretty popular one. Rocket. I think a lot of people still play this stock for some reason. Mongo, Futu. Five Below is actually usually kind of exciting. Makes big moves. I don't know why Cloudera is on here again. I didn't even think Cloudera was still a stock, to be honest. I thought it got bought or something. Okay, so Avago, DocuSign, Vive. Okay, so Okta. We got some pretty good earnings coming up on the tech side, as far as like not necessarily FANG stuff, but some good companies that are reporting this week. So we'll keep an eye on some of those. But yeah, that's all for me. So got the post OPEX bounce this past week, and I'm expecting it to stay pretty quiet for the coming week too. So we'll see how it goes. Talk to you guys another time. Bye.